Hello and welcome to Crucible of Words for more dedicated legacy action. I was in the midst of building a Pox deck to put on the channel this month, and then somebody sent me this one. So this is what we're playing today because it was really cool and slightly off the wall. So this is the Black White Pox deck. So Pox is kind of like a resource denial deck. You're trying to do things like Smallpox, where your opponent loses a card from their hand, a creature and a land and a life, and you're trying to break the parity of this with things like Bloodghast and stuff that just wants to go to the bin. So this particular list from a Japanese tournament, I believe the deck pilot was Tomura Shigeyuki, and they decided to splash into white. So what this gives you is Lingering Souls is a really good thing to discard. This also means that we've got some tokens that we can sacrifice to Smallpox to maybe keep around some bigger things like the Tombstalker. Because our graveyard's going to fill up, so Tombstalker can happily nom on the graveyard, but then we can have these Lingering Souls to protect it from our own like Smallpox effects. We've got some Hymn to Tourach to point out our opponent along with some Thoughtseizes, Innocent Blood just for a little bit more removal, a Toxic Deluge to sweep away stuff, 3 Vindicate. Since we're in white, we get this spell. We can use it to blow up a land, so it can be doing extra work with our Smallpox and our Wastelands to hit their mana base, or can just answer a problem permanent, including Planeswalkers, which is often something that gets in the way of Pox decks. We've got Liliana, which can just keep ticking up, just draining all the life out of the game, and just threatening to kill their creatures and blow up half their permanents. And we have Dark Ritual to help power all this out ahead of curve. Mana base wise, we've got ourselves 4 Scrublands, 6 Swamps, 1 Plains, no Surveil Land, which is interesting. But I'm going to play the list as it was. Over to the sideboard, we've got a little bit more spice coming on. Armageddon and Ravages of War. That's right, this is going to be the second time this week that I'm playing a deck with Armageddon in. What a life to lead. We've got a Toxic Deluge. Some Bitterblossoms here. These can be really good at just chumping like big scary things in the sky, like Mozart Regent or a Marit Lage token, for example. Got a bit of Graveyard Hate and Surgical Extraction. We've also got some Tormod Crypts. There's some Pithing Needles in here. An Umezawa's Jitte for like creature matchups when we can just stick it on a Lingering Souls. And we've got a one-of Sorin, Lord of Innistrad. So this is a bit of a reader for me. This is a 4 mana, 3 loyalty Planeswalker, +1 to get a Vampire with Lifelink, -2 to get an emblem of creature you can target +1 +0. -6 to swap up to 3 type creatures and or planeswalkers. Return each card put into a graveyard this way onto the battlefield under your control. So you can just like wrath them and get all their stuff. Pretty wild. Not sure when we're going to want this. Hopefully it'll make sense when we get there. But yeah, this is a spicy one. I know you people out there love Pox. I put it on the channel every month and I have a donor who likes to see it every month. And this was just too wild to not put on the channel. So like, subscribe, sit back and watch me drag our opponents right into the dirt. For free, fast and secure worldwide shipping on high-end singles, classic products and full sets, check out 3-for-1 Trading. Whether it's the legacy or pre-modern that I play on this channel, or even vintage and old school, they've got you covered. Find them through the link in the description of this video and use my code COW3 for free worldwide shipping on your first order over $500 or euros. Turn 1 Liliana. Sure. Sign me up. Please. No, my house of cards, it has collapsed. Okay, so take the Liliana, obviously, here. And that leaves us with just a bunch of Dark Rituals and nowhere to go. The previous video I recorded was the first time since the bannings I played a league without having to play against Blue Black Reanimator, I think. So, feels like we're going to end up playing against Blue Black Reanimator here. Because I'm sort of getting those vibes from what our opponent's putting down. We can Dark Ritual out Lingering Souls next turn. That's a play we're allowed to make. A brainstorm from our opponent. Is that no second land drop? No second land drop. Interesting. Okay, I think we're just trying to power something out here. So, Dark Ritual. We're going to play Lingering Souls a round of days. I can't tell you the last time I cast a Lingering Souls. It has been quite some time. But we got 2 Spirit tokens. I could Dark Ritual and make it 4 Spirit tokens. Why not? If you want to Daze of Dark Ritual, be my guest. You do want to Daze of Dark Ritual. That leaves us quite far ahead on board. Because we got 2 lands and they got nothing. Like, this wasn't doing anything. It was just going to be 2 power. But we were right to play around the first days. We're going to pop our graveyard up here since we got some stuff we want to do. Oh no, not a 0-3. How are we ever going to beat that? Alright, deck. Come on, I believe in you. 5 cards in our opponent's hand. Let's serve for 1 here. I think it is more important to him to Tourach our opponent than it is to get the extra power on board. Wish we had a Surveil Land. What do we get? Animate Dead and Fatal Push. Just checking this again. There really is no Surveil Land. Okay. I'd like some shadowy backstreets. So next turn we can get those Lingering Souls on the go. And then we'll be doing 3 damage a turn while our opponent doesn't currently have access to a lot of land. They must have drawn a land this turn for this attack to make sense. Okay. That... Oh, no! What is this? Oh dear, oh dear. So, our creatures attack as 0 power now. Oh, Tamiyo, why do you exist? Okay. They got Planeswalker, they pop it up. Our little 1/1's not getting anywhere. An Innocent Blood. Okay, I guess we're not doing anything. Let's make some friends. There's no reason for our opponent to interact or care about this in the slightest. I'll play a land out. I guess we're going to be fetching to thin, which isn't really great for us. We're talking about fractions of a percentage of increase of quality of draw. Alright, they got a Ponder. That's going to shuffle away the 1 card that's still on top from the Brainstorm. Yep. Things looking bad. We'll do this in our upkeep in case... There's no reason to do it in our upkeep. There's no reason to do it in the end step either. Kind of much of a muchness. Let's go and get another white source. Alright, deck. A Smallpox. Well, they'll lose their land. And we'll still be able to cast a Vindicate if we draw it. So I could discard this Innocent Blood so that we can play Vindicate around a Daze if we draw it. Or I can discard the Bloodstained Mire and have this for if they make a guy. I guess we should probably just try and beat the thing that's in front of us right now. So let's take one of our opponent's lands, and then I'm going to keep the land just so we can play around Daze if we draw the Vindicate. Because if we don't, they're going to draw half their library, and as a Pox deck, we're not going to really beat that. Unless we had actual Pox, and we can make them discard a third of their hand. Which would be loads if they had 20 cards in hand. Goodbye, Spirit Token. Goodbye, Swamp. Alright, we've got to reanimate out of our opponent's hand. I'm going to leave this in hand. It might make our opponent Thoughtseize us or do something. We're kind of threatening Orcish Bowmasters a little bit. Which is not an uncommon thing to see in these Pox decks. Okay, we've got 1 turn. Maybe we can blag our way to having this Orcish Bowmasters to pop when they put the Tammy on the stack. Oh, look at that. We drew the Vindicate that I wanted. That'll do. And we're playing it around a Daze, just like we wanted. Are we being rewarded here? No, we're being Force of World! And then they draw half their deck and we lose. Okay. There was a brief moment where I felt really smart for keeping that land and having the Vindicate on top. Okay. How do we beat Reanimator? Probably with some Crypts and Extractions. Lingering Souls kind of seem real bad here. At least the Bloodghast deals damage, right? So let's just take the Lingering Souls out, put in the Graveyard Hate. Now there's a non-zero part of me that wants to play Armageddon. I think it's wrong though to do so. I think we're just going to go in like this. We could bring in Pithing Needles to try and shut down a Tamiyo, but we've got Vindicate, so we do have answers to literally any permanent. I do enjoy Vindicate a lot. Okay. Thoughtseize seems like a good place to start against our opponent. In comes a Thoughtseize. What are you working with? Thoughtseize, Reanimate, Doughty Voidwalker. Okay, I will take out your Thoughtseize here so we can Smallpox away the Doughty Voidwalker. I wonder if they're going to draw another Thoughtseize. They did draw another Thoughtseize. Why wouldn't you draw another Thoughtseize? So we're going to lose the Smallpox here, which we were hoping to clean up the Doughty Voidwalker with. Okay. It could take the Vindicate instead. The Thoughtseize does answer the Doughty Voidwalker, but they can reanimate it, so it's kind of like not ideal. We're hoping to snag the reanimate and then Smallpox away the Doughty. They did in fact take the Smallpox. I'll play as basic planes, I think. And I will Thoughtseize my opponent. What are we taking here? Is it a Doughty to force them to reanimate? I think so. If they want to do like reanimate stuff later on, if we can take this out of their hand, if we're going on the Doughty, that's fine. We are sat here with an answer to it. Inquisition of Kozilek, sure. Okay, I guess we're not sat here with an answer to it. Our opponent's deck is incredibly efficient and is easily the best deck in Legacy. So it's a bit of an uphill battle for a poor little Pox player. I knew we were drawing land. I just felt it in my bones. All right, here is a swamp. So we are in a little bit of trouble, but Smallpox is a great draw. Brainstorm is pretty much exactly what our opponent wants. Get rid of this Wasteland. Shuffle away with Polluted Delta. I'm going to assume the Wasteland's gone unless our opponent doesn't shuffle. Okay, down the Void Walker comes in. They crack the Polluted Delta. Is this just a Surveil land, or do they have another follow-up play as well? Are you kidding me here? Okay. Oh, jeez. It just keeps coming, doesn't it? Just keeps coming. Alright, Liliana, your job is to take out one of these two creatures. You will absorb 8 damage next turn, and then we can draw Innocent Blood. We can draw Smallpox. We can draw another Liliana. We can draw Vindicate. We've got a lot of things that can deal with Murktide, which is why I quite liked this build when I saw it. I was attracted to it because it actually has answers for stuff. Whereas sometimes Smallpox feels like if the Smallpox isn't answering stuff, oh wow, they're just going to crack in. They don't even care about the Liliana. Oh no, I was kind of hoping you would save me 8 life. Okay, let's have some marginal / irrelevant thinning. A Dark Ritual. Should we see if we can bait something out of our opponent here? There's no way we can do anything here. We're just dead. Alright, let's try and go to something that's a bit more on our level, shall we? We weren't a million miles away from stabilising here, but our opponent did rip some good stuff on the top. I don't think we can feel bad about losing that one, though. Round 2, let's go. Okay, that's a curve, isn't it? Innocent Blood into him, into Lily. Now, we might not use the Innocent Blood. Oh, we're just dead on turn 1, are we? A Thoughtseize. Okay. I'm just a humble little guy playing Pox over here. Just a little guy. Doing my Poxing. Not hurting anyone. Just having a little bit of fun rolling around in the dirt. And then again, curb stomped by Blue-Black Reanimator and Oops All Spells. Clearly I've annoyed the great magic gods in the sky. Alright, they're taking out him. That suggests they, well, they might be playing around us drawing Dark Ritual. We did draw Dark Ritual. I guess we Dark Ritual out of Liliana and hope for the best. Do I need another Liliana? Probably not. A Narcomoeba. We can hope they took the him because they're not ready to go off yet. That's very unlikely. They have perfect information in our hand. They're paying 3 life for their Felmire. A Cabal Ritual. Cool. And a City Informer. They have to have the mana to crack it now since we have an Edict in play. They wouldn't play this out. Yep, so there's a Spirit Guide for the mana. I'll take a quick look at your deck in case there's anything weird and exciting. I'm not expecting anything weird and exciting, and just generic oopsing over here. Sure. Oh dear, oh dear. What a horrible start to this league. Let's board in some Graveyard Hate and see if we can have a non-game the other way this time. We don't have stacks of Graveyard Hate. I think I'll take some Pithing Needles. So Hand Disruption is all great though. Lingering Souls, probably not really what this game is about, is it? We can kind of win with whatever. We just need to keep our opponent down. We don't need a Toxic Deluge. Don't need the Innocent Bloods. It gives us 1 card back in. I guess we can have 1 Lingering Souls just as something to pressure our opponent with. But we're wanting to try and win with the Tombstalker, I think, here. Give me a hand with Thoughtseizes in. Smallpox. That might not do anything. I think we have to mulligan to... Okay, we have some Graveyard Hate. I will take this. I'll keep... I think I'm going to get rid of the Vindicate here. We've already got another 3-drop. Let's put out Swamp. No Thoughtseize, unfortunately. Let's see if their 7-card hand will beat us. It's quite likely, because 7-card hands from Oops All Spells are pretty busted. They can have... The best they can do is a turn 1 combo with triple protection, which is obviously the most powerful thing you can do in Legacy. Bogger Bog. Untapped. Here we go. Lotus Petal. Please don't have any protection. Let this Surgical Extraction somehow work. Surgical Extraction not even that good against the old Oops All Spells. But it's what we've got. Our opponent seems to be spending a long time over there, counting to 4. Our opponent spent ages thinking about what to do with this Cabal Therapy. What are they going to name? Hymn to Tourach. No Hymn to Tourach over here. We can take away your only mana source, or the only persistent mana source next turn. With the old Smallpox. The fact they're naming him to the Tourach suggests they're not comboing this turn, which is good. And Liliana the Veil. I would love to get one of those into play. Sadly, that's not what's going to be happening here. We need to just impact our opponent in any way we can. So let's Smallpox. We'll discard a Liliana, lose our basic swamp. Ah, they've been to Balustrade Spy. They're just going to reanimate it. They know we have a Surgical Extraction though. Alright, no mana from our opponent. Can we draw a him to Tourach this time? No. So we could try and Surgical the Balustrade Spy, but I don't think the problem for them is creatures, because they would just keep the creature. We don't have a Surveil land here, so that isn't a thing we have to care about. Verdant Catacombs, excellent. Something that I'm okay to discard. Let's get Scrublands. We're slowly going to start draining the resources out of this game. I'll discard this Verdant Catacombs and keep my graveyard hit, please. Okay, we've helped them out now. We put a Dread Return in their graveyard. That is awkward. Smallpox. Probably not the one we want to cast right now, is it? Let's just make everyone discard a card. I'll get rid of the Smallpox. Another Balustrade Spy. They know we have the Surgical, so these are clearly not like a worthwhile thing for us to Surgical, because our opponent wouldn't discard it if their game plan relies on keeping it in hand. Thoughtseize, eh? What are we going to hit? We can hit the Balustrade Spy, so they can't do anything this turn. We could hit the Dread Return. Well, then the Balustrade Spy feels like it's just there baiting us. I think I'm going to hit the Dread Return. So this at least forces them into doing a pile with Memory's Journey to win. Okay, so this is their only Dread Return. They haven't pivoted to Charbelcher. Opposition Agent. So like I said, they definitely had the other one in there, because they wouldn't just discard this into the face-up. Okay, that's not really the one. Each player discards a card, I guess. And got rid of the Thassa's Oracle. Okay. If we draw our other Surgical or our Crypt, we could do some stuff. I didn't actually check to see how many Thassa's Oracles they have. I'll play my land out first. And then we'll plus. I could minus my Liliana and destroy half of my opponent's permanents. But they didn't have any. It's a fun game for everyone. Passing it back. Pithing Needle. Alright, let's play this on Undercity Informer. Unfortunately, Liliana doesn't actually win the game. The Poxwalkers, sure. It just keeps ticking up, but doesn't actually just do something that actually wins us this game. We're willing to find a threat of some description. We've got Tombstalkers, we've got a Lingering Souls, we've got some Bloodghasts. Anything is fine. Just needs to be able to turn sideways. Alright, they're playing out a land into our Wasteland. Are we dead? A Cabal Ritual, sure. An Undercity Informer. So this is just a creature that can beat down. Because the Pithing Needle was shutting off. Okay. And what do we even name off of this now? We know they're not running Charbelcher, so I guess we just have another one naming Informer just in case they have bounce spells. Alright, each player can discard a card. We just take this last card out of the hand. Like, they can attack us for 2, but then we can just edict it away later. Hope you're having fun, opponent. Sure, Liliana can go downstairs next turn if she wants to. I'm just going to keep my opponent's hand empty. Cecil the Dark Knight, sure. So going down is like a really nice opportunity when we have like something we do want to keep in our hand for a turn cycle. So if we draw like a Surgical or something. A Vindicate, sure. Just get rid of it. Drain the last card from your hand. Like, I don't think they can ever really do anything with... I guess they can draw lands and play lands in their deck that supposedly has no lands. Come on, some sort of threat. Him to Tourach. Sure, why not? Oh, Liliana. I need you to actually win me the game. Like, it might be the thing that wins us the game, technically. But we need to actually put a win condition into play. Okay, a Wasteland, sure. Let's keep draining your hand out. A Lotus Petal, sure. Our opponent's got no cards in hand, so we don't need to burn this Dark Ritual, we can just pass. We don't need to plus the Liliana, it's on 9 loyalty. Felmire, tapped. Well, we're going to Wasteland it. But I just have to work through all these pieces we have. Sure, I guess we'll plus this. It doesn't matter. I guess we'll just plus the Liliana. I'll discard this him, you'll discard whatever you have in hand. There'll come a time where they can have a Memories Journey, which will allow them to get the Poxwalkers out of the bin. But maybe we'll find a threat. There are some in our deck somewhere. That's not one of them. At least we're making our opponent, who's a neutral spells player, take ages with their time. That's good. That's good news. Instead of them being able to smash out a load of leagues really quickly, they're stuck in this long game against a Pox player. So I'm doing a service to everyone else by keeping him out of the game pool for a little while. Which is very heroic today. Sure, we'll keep going upstairs. Come on, win condition. Maybe we shouldn't take all the lingering souls out. A Vindicate, sure. I'll blow up your only permanent. Okay, nothing for our opponents. Looking at throwing some more cards into the bin. Oh, hallelujah, we found a threat. It's a big boy. It's not even that big. But it'll do. It's a win condition. With some sweet art. Alright, they're finally scooping it up. Maybe we need a little bit more pressure than we have. But what do we take out? I don't know what we can take out, which leaves us in this sort of problem. Like, the Liliana plan was fine, and we did eventually draw out of it. No, I think we just go in like this. Just drain all the life out of the game, if we can. Now, they're on the play, so they might just be able to turn one us. Our graveyard hate against them is not very good. Like, Tormod's Crypt is fine, but the Surgicals are pretty weak. Well, we have a Thoughtseize, we have graveyard hate. It's not very good graveyard hate for the matchup, but sometimes it can be enough. If our opponent doesn't have the spare mana, we can get there. The less cards they have, the better chance we have of actually leveraging this extraction. If they're slower, we might be able to leverage this Thoughtseize. Or our opponent, how bad is it going to be for us? Mire, untapped. And they've got a Thoughtseize. Why wouldn't they have a Thoughtseize at the end of the day? What do they take here? If they take our Surgical, we Thoughtseize them. If they take our Thoughtseize, we still have Surgical. They took our Surgical. Can they kill us this turn? Of a mult of 5? No. So we have Thoughtseize available right now. Boggart Trawler. I guess we take the Trawler because it can actually beat down. Oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong one there. So they got a Cabal Ritual in hand, but we can deploy the Liliana and just suck all the life out of the game again. And Wasteland them. What was the card you drew, opponent? They could put an Undercity Informer into play, but they can't crack it. Because we know they got a Cabal Ritual. They didn't see this Liliana, but they know that we could Dark Ritual out Vindicate this turn. I'd love to draw like a Bloodghast. Yeah, you pass that turn, opponent. Aha, a Tormod's Crypt, you say? I'll take it. Dark Ritual, you say? A Liliana. A Wasteland. Look at this turn. This is a great turn. Goodbye, Mire. We're going to plus this Liliana. I think we have to get rid of... I think it is the Vindicate here. It's close, though. Right, so there's the Cabal Ritual. Welcome to the dirt, opponent. Give me Bloodghast, please. A Tombstalker. Sure, I'm going to discard this Plains. It doesn't cast our Tombstalker. If we can draw a Swamp next turn, we can play the Tombstalker. Nothing from our opponent there. A Dark Ritual. Tombstalker. Lose a card, opponent. Nice opposition agent. This is quite cathartic, making an Oopsal Spells player have a really miserable time, though. We can't do anything with the Smallpox. Let's bash away. Plus this. We'll get rid of our only card. Can't cast anyway. Alright. Yeah, take that, Oopsal Spells. Alright, maybe the league is on the upswing there. Let's go to round 3. Okay, this is a very different looking hand. to some of the ones we've had. I'm going to try it, see how it fares. It's not really what I want, but maybe the power of Lingering Souls will get us somewhere. Right, Swamp. This might be a weird hand that would have been better on the draw than on the play because of the reactive Innocent Blood. But we can just Innocent Blood around a daze if our opponent's on like a... Okay, Urza Saga. This is probably a combo deck then. It's probably like Black Saga Storm. So just little Bloodghast. Probably not going to get it done. Emery. Okay, so we might be on 8 cast then. Yep. Could be a Painter variant. We'll find out in a sec. Or at some point. Okay, I'll play out this Marsh Flats and I will Innocent Blood away this Emery. Goodbye. I hope that's the main thing that you're trying to do with your hand. Then we can put out some Lingering Souls and kind of progress onwards. Does our opponent have an Ancient Tomb? They do. Lingering Souls are pretty good at clogging up Urza Saga. We can make a Liliana. We can do the Liliana thing, but it's just not really going to get us where we need to go right now, is it? Do we get the Bloodghast in, or is this a Liliana? This is probably a Lingering Souls turn, isn't it? So we could Liliana plus to put the Bloodghast away. I don't think that works though. I think we're playing out the Lingering Souls now, and then using them as blockers later on to protect our Liliana. Well, Liliana's probably going to minus rather than plus actually, just to clear out one of the tokens. Okay. Blast from the past, Lingering Souls. Yep, you make a little friend. Make another friend. They've got a Shadow Spear. Like, Boots of going faster is annoying here, because then they can make an Emery and immediately activate it. It is the Shadow Spear. And the Boots. Okay, so they're equipping the Boots this turn. Oh, and the Emery. Okay. That's a lot of junk. Not in love with this. Now I guess we want to draw our Toxic Deluge right now. We've got one in the main. A Wasteland. Not really what we wanted here. I think this is Liliana. Try and take out one of their guys. I'll play out this Wasteland so that we can nab a Saga if they have one. I don't think it's worth taking out the seat. I've got a Mox Opal, which is giving them blue mana anyway. Yep, Shadow Spear on the construct. Making a construct. Have some ward as well. Where is it coming? Is this the one that's going to trample over and kill Liliana? That would be ideal. They're both coming at my face. That's not really where I want my opponent to be sending their giant friends. 22 life. That's a lot of life. Toxic Deluge not looking quite so hot right now either. We got these Bloodghast, but we're beaten by the constructs. Okay. Let's go back into sideboard in here and see what we can find. Or into sideboard for the first time in this matchup, I should say. Toxic Deluge seems fine. Do you want this thing to just churn out tokens? Maybe. Pithing Needle for Emery seems pretty good. Umezawa's Jitte is okay. Do I like Armageddons? Not especially. They have a bunch of artifact mana, so it's not really a great place to be. I think it's these four. What doesn't look good here? It all looks pretty good, to be honest. The Vindicate is a little bit slow, but can hit a whole bunch of things. Maybe Liliana's? If we're taking out Liliana's, it makes the Dark Rituals a lot worse. Take out one Lingering Souls, maybe one... Actually, the Bloodghast look pretty bad here, don't they? Let's get rid of the Bloodghasts. As much as I love them. Would I like a Sorin here? No, I don't think so. So we can keep this. I'm going to play Pithing Needle on Urza's Saga. We have an answer for the Emery. We have lots of removal for creatures. We just don't want to get bodied by Urza's Saga. Okay. There is an Urza's Saga. It's not going to do them much good. It's just going to be a mana source. It will eventually tutor though. So if they are playing Painter, it can tutor for their Grindstone. The way they play this out makes me want to Wasteland them. I think we will just Wasteland them. We don't want them getting the tutor Feels like that was important to them. If they play that out on 1. Play out a creature? No creature. Would like a hymn to Tourach, please. Not a hymn to Tourach. I'm just going to play out the Bloodstained Mire so that we can try and get Liliana in next turn. Right, it's time for them to crack the bauble. They've seen our innocent blood. Yep, another Saga, so that's a tutor down the stretch. Yep, so they are a painter deck, and there is a grindstone. Guess who's got sorcery speed removal only? It's me! Okay. Let's try Liliana. Maybe clip their total amount of resources to the point where they can't get over the finish line for a little bit. Metallic Rebuke. Yep, you got it. 3 cards left in our opponent's hand. If they have Mana Source and Painter, we die. The One Ring. Yeah, that's good, isn't it? That kind of undoes everything that we want our deck to do to our opponent. Okay. Liliana is just completely outclassed by the One Ring here. They just let it go. Oh well, they had a 4th anyway. Sure, we could stop them tutoring here. I think it's worth stopping them tutoring. They could go and get like a key, which gets them more cards off of the One Ring. We need to find a way to shut this One Ring down, like another Pithing Needle. We do have 2 more in the deck. An Emery, we can answer that, so that's fine. They're going to play a Painter as well, so they can just sack the Emery. That would be pretty good. Thoughtseize. Let's Thoughtseize our opponent first. Just get rebuked. It is, okay. But now we get to clean up the Emery. We're very much under the threat from this One Ring. Oh wow, was your last card Force of Will as well? Well, our opponent's drawing as many cards as they want, I guess, because they've also got the One Ring loops with the Emery, so they can just have permanent protection. Obviously we have the Smallpox to break that up, but it's not free for us to do that. And they're just getting back a Petal. Does that give them Painter this turn and Grindstone? There's a Painter. Have you got another coloured mana source? Lava Spur Boots. Okay, so we need a black source so we can cast 2 Smallpoxes. We found a black source. Actually, no, we don't get to cast 2 Smallpoxes, do we? Because the first one gets discarded. Why can't we have instant speed? Actually, we wouldn't be able to cast them anyway, would we? Think about it. Yep, so maybe they sacrifice their Emery. Seems unlikely. Yep, so they just have us dead next turn to the combo. And we can move on with our lives. On to round number 4, I think. That is the end of that round, yep. For the best Eternal experience this summer, check out Eternal Mania in Hasselt, Belgium from August 8th to 10th. Aside from hosting the European Legacy Masters, they have a whole host of other tournaments from team trios to old school and pre-modern. I will be there playing Legacy and hanging out as a special guest. This will also be the first event that I'll be giving out my own special Marital Age tokens, so why not come down to enjoy an awesome weekend ran by one of the best TOs in Europe. Turn 1 Liliana, that's very much the sort of ballpark of things we want to be doing, isn't it? And we'll get a basic Swamp for now. Don't want to get hoisted on my own petard and get wastelanded into the dirt. Get rid of one of these white cards. An array, okay. So our opponent's probably going to be a multicoloured deck with a lot of weird lands. It's very rare to see Euro decks that are just 2 colours. They're normally 3 to 5. So maybe we can pick them apart with blowing up the lands at the right time and all that sort of jazz. Okay, let's go and get... I think it's a Scrubland this time around. Let's him. I think I'm going to lose this Thoughtseize. We're kind of already doing that sort of thing anyway. Murderous Cut. So this is looking like bug beans. But we've drained a lot of life out of this game already. A Beanstalk is annoying. That can give them a way back into this game. The draw engines are certainly better than the discard engines, which is a bit awkward for us. Well, I guess Beans isn't as powerful as something like the One Ring. Okay, they got a Swamp. Could we see in like a Baleful Strix or something? Shoulder's Edict. I guess we lose our Liliana. You did some work there, Liliana. A Wasteland. Goodbye, blue mana source. I love vindicating a basic land. Feels great. Let's hope that stops our opponent from playing the game. They had a Wasteland. They're going to take our white source. They are. Okay. We're in the dirt now. No, I will Wasteland my own Wasteland. A Lingering Souls. Where were these early when we had the Liliana game? We could have been discarding these. Hedge Maze. Pretty good. We left a card on top, so it's probably a land. A Dark Ritual that we can't use. Jeez, that's a big old boy, isn't it? 7/7 Murktide. Innocent Blood. Take it. Yeah. No more big boy. Like, we're still not doing anything. We could have tried to Dark Ritual to play around days. Tamio, another card of Armageddon. A Polluted Delta. Get Scrubland. It's Lingering Souls time. I'll pop our graveyard out for now. They're drawing 2 cards a turn. That's probably going to beat us. If we can find a land and just keep making lots of 1/1s, we'll be okay until they flip the Tamio. Then we just immediately lose all of our pressure. People talk about Bowmasters ruining 1/1s, but Tamio, she doesn't like 1/1s very much either. Attack with the team. We should be blocking the Tamio actually, just in case there's a Kaito in their list. It's free to do so, it's a 0/1. Cycling Lauren revealed. We do kind of have an answer for the Tamio. We just need another land to do it. Up the Beanstalk. Yep. So they can attack with the Tamio and flip the Tamio now, and then none of our creatures do anything from that point onwards. We don't need to worry about Kaito this turn because they don't have 3 mana up. So they plus this Tamio. Our creatures are irrelevant. It's tough out there, isn't it? It really is. Just the honest Pox gamer. Okay, Scrubland. Let's just try and take this out now. Please don't have anything. Oh, they got 4 cards in hand. I wouldn't be surprised if they had something. If they have a Force here, it cantrips as well. Yikes. Alright, there's no point attacking because our guys just get shrunk down to the 0/1s. Alright, it's not going to be long until this Tamio just wins them the game. There's an Uro coming in now. I think we're probably done here. Yeah, Lingering Souls feels like a useless Magic the Gathering card right now. This is a matchup for Armageddon though. Let's get those in. Does that mean we want... Bitterblossom's so bad against Tamio though. I'll take the Sorin. It's a threat. What do we not really need here? The Lingering Souls are so bad. Get out of here. Alright. Let's try this. Innocent Blood still hits Tamios. We could trim and bring back some Lingering Souls. Just have more threats. That seems a little better maybe. We don't get to play Magic with this hand, so it's a mulligan. Hand doesn't actually do anything. We have to mulligan again. Alright. I guess we get rid of the white card. And then... Is it Smallpox, maybe? Feels bad to be activating a Liliana this early in the game when we've mulliganed so hard. Snap of a Force of Will? They are indeed. So that's our hand completely neutered. A Ponder off of a basic land. How rude. We can't even Wasteland them. Alright, I guess we're just playing out a swamp. And passing. Feels like we're operating on a very different axis to our opponent here. It was definitely unfortunate that we had to mulligan so low that we basically just had 1 action piece. But the first 2 hands literally didn't play Magic, so we needed to do something. Liliana of the Veil. Okay, each player can discard a card. No, discard an Endurance. I use this Wasteland for mana. Or you don't get rid of our Wasteland. I think it seems better as mana. We're also a bit low on resources over there. Okay, so we're going to play... Oh, we can't play the Tombstalker yet, can we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why are you so expensive, Tombstalker? 4, 5, 6. We're so far away. I think we just need to keep leveraging this Liliana as much as it pains me to get rid of this Tombstalker. Let's play out our land. An array, that's a problem for later, but later on we can worry about that. Maybe our opponent never gets to play Magic. Alright, another land. Happy to see that. Our opponent's just drawing card and discarding a card every turn, so they're not really going down on resources, but they're not developing. To start developing, they go down on total resources in their hand, but they end up with a land in play. Again, I would love to have a Undercity Sewers in the deck for moments like this. We'll leave this uncracked because we have Bloodghast in our deck. A Lingering Souls. Okay, let's go and cast a spell. Just gonna get planes. Go, gadget 1/1s. And you can lose another card opponent. They got rid of a Rakshas's Bargain. They found a land. Let's eradicate that land. Spend the discard a card. In with the team, and we'll add 2 more little tokens to the board in the second main phase. Get over here. Alright, we've got a 4-turn clock now. We've certainly got some creatures answered with this Liliana. Oh, a basic land. That's not fair. I'm going to crack this now so that we have a slightly better chance of hitting something worthwhile. Alright, I'll play our Wasteland. That's plus the old Liliana again. I don't even care if they play a Bowmaster and attack the Liliana. She's on 10 loyalty. She's not going anywhere. A Barragoy, sure. We got removal for days. We got 5 edicts on a stick here. Do I think our opponent can kill all of these things? So I'm thinking about taking our opponent's last card rather than killing this straight away. Do I think they have an answer for Liliana? I don't think they do. We'll allow them to gain some life. Maybe we just shouldn't mess around with the Barragoyf. Which allows us to continually pressure our opponent as well. I'll take out their mana source so it's harder for them to play like another Barragoyf or anything. There's been a lot of Wastelands wasting other Wastelands in this particular match. How do you feel about this opponent? They don't feel very good. And we get to go back to the sideboard and see if we want to change anything. I think we have enough removal. We needed the threats. Yeah, I like where we're at here. I think we're just going to send it back in again. Thoughtseize. We kind of need like a middle piece of something here, but we have a lot of them we can find. Like any sort of 2-drop here is good. Maybe not Smallpox. Are we getting Thoughtseized? We are getting Thoughtseized. I think they might take our Thoughtseize, to be honest. Yep, they did. That does kind of stuff up our curve. Because now we just got a bunch of expensive stuff we can't really leverage. I'm hoping to Thoughtseize on 1, maybe find something in our 2 draw steps that we can do on 2. Whether that's like a Dark Ritual or another Thoughtseize, or one of our 2-drops like Bloodghast or him. I'll play out a basic swamp. No Wastelands getting me. Still the elusive 2-drops are not to be found. Bowmaster pretty good against the old edicts. And a Beanstalk. Yep, they're cooking now. Are we going to vindicate their Beanstalk? It already feels bad because it's already replaced itself. And Ponder. But we need to start putting stuff in the graveyard and get these Tombstalkers online. We're attacking into our potential Bowmaster. They definitely paused and thought about it. Okay, I think this is... Get basic planes. Just try and take out this Beanstalk. Okay, that worked. We just need to buy enough time to get a Tombstalker online. We can maybe start doing some Liliana stuff. Ravages of War. I do like a Ravages of War. That's an interesting change of pace that we can have. Our opponent's deck runs days, so we have to play this out now. Can I have a Liliana, please? I'm going to discard this excess Tombstalker. to help fuel the next Tombstalker. So our plan here is going to involve Tombstalker plus Armageddon. Our opponent could surveil an Uro into the bin and reanimate it this time. Or not reanimate it, escape it is the word I'm looking for. It's within the realms of possibility. Sure, a beanstalk. Goodbye, land. Are they both coming in a Liliana? They are. And there's another one, so there's going to be enough to finish off the Liliana. Yep, that's not really what we wanted to see. We can play a Tombstalker now, though. Which is assuredly part of the way we get out of this one. Tombstalker into Ravages of War. Okay, Tombstalker. Leaving one open to pay for days. Alright, we're in with the biggest thing on the board. So maybe we can Liliana kind of hide behind the Tombstalker, start stripping out their resources, and then blow up all their lands. Is this a murderous cut? Feels like a murderous cut. A cantripping removal spell for 1 mana on our 8-drop. Not the best. Oh, a Tamiyo. That invalidates a lot of my deck. Yeah, our opponent weirdly has quite an aggressive draw here, which is really bad for us. Do we have Toxic Deluge? No. So what do we have here? 3 mana for 5 mana. So we still can't do very much here. We can Liliana here and strip away a creature. I think we just have to do this. Ideally, we can get this Innistrad, Lord of Innistrad Sorin thing into play and get some vampires going. But it's only a matter of time before our opponent flips his Tamiyo. So the Bowmasters comes in at the Liliana. Everything else comes in at me. We need Toxic Deluge. What do they put back on top? Ponder? Thoughtseize. Okay, so they can Thoughtseize us now and take our Ravages by cracking the clue. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Toxic Deluge does wipe their board. I think they take the Ravages of War here. Just so many weird things can happen when you put Armageddons in the game. Oh, they took Sorin. Him to Tourach. I guess it's the spell we have. I'm not going to blow up all the lands and we're behind on board. Right, we took their Fatal Push. That's not really relevant. So we're playing top deck wars, but our opponent's got an extra card every turn and Orcish Bowmasters beating us down. Witherbloom Command. Draining us for 2. I think here. Yeah. Puts us a 6, 5, 4, 3. So Toxic Deluge is still alive, but only just. Nope, that's not the one. Unfortunately, we didn't quite take it down. Our opponent had quite an aggressive draw. If they had like a slower draw where we could maybe just get anything in play and then Ravages of War, we'd feel really good. But couldn't quite get it done. Alright, 4 rounds in. We are on the board, but we are not doing well. We need to try and get another one so we at least get a 2-3 out of it. Let's go. Alright, this is a nice curve. Thoughtseize into him, into Liliana potentially. Yes, okay, we've got the white source for the Vindicates as well. We're going to see a Brainstorm to protect? No. Mist Hollow Griffin, Endurance. Alright, so our opponent is on Food Chain Life. Let's take out this Questing Druid. Then we can start him to Touraching our opponent here. This should be a matchup that we can do quite well into. Because our opponent's trying to resolve some more expensive stuff along the curve. And they require pieces. But they also have a lot of card advantage in their deck. A Mist Hollow Griffin and a land. Okay. And their deck is full of card advantage. So, like, Questing Druid, the fact that Mist Hollow Griffin can pitch and still be a card that you can play. They've probably got some energy stuff going on with Amulet of... Not Vigor. The Energy Amulet. Whose name I can't remember. Okay, so this is the turn where they can start doing endurance things. So we have 5 mana, which isn't quite enough to do all the things we want. I could play Liliana and plus it. If I play Liliana and plus it, they get to bash it once with endurance, but maybe they get to... Yeah, I think that's still fine, actually. So we plus this, we get rid of the Dark Red Shell. They got rid of a Mist Hollow Griffin, sure. So they can bash the Liliana down to 1, but then we can Vindicate it and then start ticking up the Liliana. And maybe we'll finally draw one of these Bloodghasts. I did mention them in the deck tag, but we've not seen them all day. They're going to put these back in their deck? They might do. No, they're going to put these things back in our deck. That's fine. This comes in at the Liliana for 2. For 3, sorry. Puts the Liliana to 1. Brainstorm. Pretty potent Magic the Gathering card. I'd love to draw a Bloodghast or a Lingering Souls or something that wants to be in our graveyard. Well, that kind of wants to be in our graveyard, I guess. Let's plus the Liliana. Oh, we're seeing some action here. Just going to be a questing druid. It is indeed. Seeking of the Beast. Thundering Falls and a Ponder. Pretty good. Let's crack this. Go and get White Source. Goodbye Endurance. And we're pretty close to having them in the squeeze. Right, there's the questing druid, so they're going to cast a Ponder, grow their guy. And then we can Vindicate, strip the last card from their hand. I guess they're going to end up with 2 cards if they cast this Ponder. Yep, you got it. Questing druid gets larger. They did not shuffle their Ponder either. Okay, we'll play this out. We will kill their threat. We will plus the old Liliana. An Uro. Ugh. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so we can... How many cards in their graveyard? 12. So they got 2 bites of the Euro cherry here. Not really what I want to see. Yep. So if we can sort of stop our opponent getting set up and, you know, keep their lands under wraps and stuff, then I think this matchup is pretty good. But as soon as we get into this stage of the game where they can activate their late game grinding engines, we are in trouble. I'll crack this now just so we've got a marginally better chance of drawing something relevant. Lingering Souls, you say? Okay, I guess we'll take out this Uro. And then we will make 4 1/1s. Alright, opponent. Over to you. They can replay this Uro. We can chump block and then sort of drain cards with the Liliana until the Liliana can minus and finish off the Uro. If they got something like a Bolt, they can finish off the Liliana and then play the Uro, and then we're really screwed. A Food Chain. Okay, we could be dead this turn. I'm obviously a lover of Food Chain. I play a lot on my channel. I haven't played for a little while. I should probably get back on that. Okay, here's a Bloodghast. Here's a plus on the Liliana. And then I guess we're going to swing in for 4. Not really a deck running a lot of haste creatures. They could have an Ice Fang. They could have flashed in. I think they flashed it on their turn because they might be able to just go away up the food chain and win the game. Mist Hollow Griffins. They have infinite mana. I'm familiar with how this works. You exile the Mist Hollow Griffin to the food chain and it gives you 1 mana more than the Mist Hollow Griffin costs, and you just do this ad infinitum. Okay, our opponent doesn't have it right now. They're going to have to go through some loops to get the Uro going. And we can just F6 this turn and let our opponent click through. So they're going to make enough mana to play this Uro from graveyard. Or they're just going to make a bunch of Mist Hollow Griffins. So what they did is they used the Uro to exile the Mist Hollow Griffins from the graveyard. Yeah. So here's the Uro. And a Brainstorm. Just dig in for the right pieces and then they can win the game. Molt Tender. Interesting. This allows you to exile your Mist Hollow Griffins if they get discarded. That's interesting. I think we are taking a card here. I think we're turtling up now. I don't feel like we're winning this one. I guess we could Toxic Deluge everything away. Okay, we'll block the Uro. We'll block the one that's going at the Liliana. This one is just going at the face, so we'll just take it. They can untap their creatures by sacrificing them to food chain. And just going through the combo again. Molt Tender also mills over Brainstorm cards, which is really nice. Just replaying the Griffin. Are they doing anything with all this mana? Or are they just resetting their Griffins? Disciple of Freyalise. So this is, when this enters, you may sacrifice another creature if you do, gain X life and draw X cards, where X is that creature's power. So sacrifice Uro to draw 6 cards. Interesting. I got it now. They get to redraw with the Uro as well if they wish. Right, they're going through various loops and stuff here. We're just going to more or less wait and see how it ends up. Looks like we're at the stage where they're putting the Uro back into play. Nope, maybe not. Okay, so Euro's in. Got Ice Fangs. They're continuing to dig. So looking for like Walking Ballista, and I don't know if they're going to be running the Tyrannid card that domes for X when you pay X. Zoanthrope, I think it's called. Seek the Beast. 2 cards have entered the exile zone. It's a Ponder and a Malt Tender. So I'm going to cast a Ponder. Our opponent's list looks sweet though. So what they can do is they can make an infinitely large Questing Druid. So they can play the Questing Druid and then just keep replaying the Mistolo Griffin, and every time they do it, it puts a +1/+1 counter on the Questing Druid. But an infinitely large creature is not as dead this turn. Well, how do we come back from this? Our opponent's on 31 life. I guess we should just let them have it. It's not great content anymore. We're not going to beat this advantage our opponent has assembled. So, what do we like here? Maybe a Toxic Deluge. Maybe some Armageddons, because they need to get a decent amount of mana underneath them. Pithing Needle doesn't work for Food Chain, because Food Chain is a mana ability. Umezawa's Jitte. That lets us kill some of the little guys, but not really that much. I think it's just these 2. What are we getting rid of? Is it just like Lingering Souls? Probably not. Maybe it's just Innocent Bloods. Let's get rid of those. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we still can't even cast a Tombstalker. We can answer the first few things our opponent does. I think we need something a bit more aggressive. Bloodghast. I forgot you're in the deck. It's been so long. I guess we'll put back the white card. Maybe that's a mistake. Alright. So we are doing Dark Ritual in Thoughtseize into Bloodghast here. Ponder, Force of Will, Questing Druid, Ice Fang. It's all annoying, isn't it? Is it Ponder? I think it's Ponder. Oh, they're not going to waste a Force of Will on this guy. So we could have taken the Malt Tender and then Wastelanded the Tropical Island. That's another option we had. Attack the Bloodghast. In you come. Alright, maybe we're supposed to just try the full-on Mana Denial there and hope that it gets over the line. But they would get to Ponder looking for a land if we did that, and that's also not great for us. A Smallpox. So they can play an Ice Fang here, or they can do a Questing Druid. I think the world is very much their oyster. It's only exiles cards from their graveyard though. Okay, so it's the Ice Fang. So we've got one more piece of mana they can use from this Malt Tender for now. Obviously they can block and trade with the Bloodghast, get another card in their graveyard. Alright, Ice Fang, you're coming in. Okay, we're just not finding any lands. Our Bloodghast are going to be having haste soon though, but they're going to be doing their Questing Druid, Seeking of the Beast. What do they find? A land and an Ice Fang. That's pretty good. I imagine we see them both hit the table this turn. They're paying the 3 life. So they're going to play the Druid and then play the Ice Fang and just have like a nice little beatdown plan going. We can't Toxic Deluge here because we don't have a Toxic Deluge and we don't have the mana for a Toxic Deluge. And our opponent's card advantage is just absolutely pulling away from what we're doing. Found a land. I think we're better off doing a Bloodghast here and just trying to get the final points of damage over the finish line. They've got haste. If we draw a land, we can bring them back. If we don't draw a land, or they cast an Endurance, then we have 0 pressure. But we're not winning this game if it goes long, because our opponent's just an absolute card advantage machine over there. Squeal the Immortal. My personal favourite creature to go with Food Chain. Because even if it's in your graveyard, you can still use it, whereas the Mist Hollow Griffin only works from exile. They didn't attack. Do they fear what we're up to? Okay, if we Smallpox, they're just going to get rid of a Squee, but that's okay. I don't think the Smallpox resolves, to be honest. We'll see. Okay, they're brainstorming. So what we can do here is we discard the Lingering Souls, play the land, get back both Bloodghast, then we play the Lingering Souls from the graveyard. We keep up the pressure. We basically lose the second our opponent finds a Food Chain. And they are sat over there with Force of Will blue card as well. I'll discard his Lingering Souls. Discard a Mist Hollow Griffin. We'll get rid of one of our lands, obviously. That's part of it. They're going to lose one of their Garden of Freyalise, I'm sure. Alright. So next turn we can get this Lingering Souls back. We're going to keep forcing damage. That's all we got. Alright, we've got our opponent on the defensive still. Play this, get our Bloodghast back. Try Liliana. Maybe we're supposed to go for the Lingering Souls here. We know there's a Force of Will. Subtlety. It's a big creature. I think we'll leave it on top just so we can try and edict away one of these creatures. But every turn cycle feels like we're falling further and further behind. Molt Tender exiling a Squee and then using it to cast a Squee is really cool. Yeah, this list is really cool. I'm really liking what our opponents put down. Like, it's obviously not great for us, but it's being beaten by something cool. You got another Subtlety. Seeking of the Beast. An Endurance and a Misty Rainforest. It's just increasingly large amount of bodies that we can't really work through with our tiny little puny friends. Are we minusing or are we plussing? I think we're plussing, actually. This might get them to have to attack it with something real, which might help us force through a little bit of damage. Seems unlikely, but it's possible. I don't think making them sacrifice a Molt Tender really matters for very much here. We can't block, so we're going to lose our Liliana. There's that Endurance. They're going to get rid of our Lingering Souls. We can't get that back. Okay, opponents, you're telling me that I'm in the dirt. Okay. How big is this? 6. We're going to play 7 life in case they brainstorm. Maybe they threw that Force of Will away earlier. Seems unlikely. There it is. And we play the life. We're just dead here. Right, GG's opponent. Really sweet deck. Good games. So we finished with a 1-4 record, which is pretty bad even for Pox. Like, I normally think of Pox as like a 2-3, maybe a 3-2 deck. But a 1-4 is not good. So where were the problems with this list and why didn't it really come together? So there's a few things that happened to us numerous times. Is we didn't really have that much stuff to go with our like Smallpox, Liliana type stuff. So if I was playing a black-white deck, I would probably try and fit in like Urborg Flagstones, because you need to break the parity of like discarding cards and blowing up your own lands. And if you don't, if anyone's got like a decent enough draw engine, they're just going to claw back in the game while we're sort of sat there drawing one card a turn like we did many times. So it just didn't really come together. I did like the Vindicate. That felt pretty useful. We definitely got some joy off of that a few times. The Lingering Souls was terrible. This was like just bad the whole time. I understand it's something that gives us value to discard, but it's just so bad in the meta right now. It's just not really worth thinking about. And I'm not really sure that the white splash is worth it for just like the Vindicate here. At least the green splash just gives you Life from the Lane, which completely offsets discarding anything and losing lands. It's personally my favourite way of breaking the parity. We also didn't have any Mox Diamonds, which is another way that you can break the parity, because some of the things we have that maybe getting blown up wouldn't necessarily be lands. So we can just throw our lands into the Mox Diamond and then sort of curve out nicely. It just didn't really come together with this one at all. Like, we could have had more aggressive stuff. We did obviously board out the Lingering Souls a few times, but in the face of Tamiyo's, it's just so bad. But Tamiyo's just really bad for our deck anyway, right? Because it draws a bunch of cards, which undoes part of our plan, or it -1s all of our guys, which gets rid of like the Lingering Souls plan. And then it just ticks up to drawing the whole deck, which we're not going to beat. So it's really tough to play Pox at the moment. But this build, whilst pretty cool and interesting, I just don't think it has the juice. And the sideboard here, like, the Bitterblossom, like, when am I actually wanting this Bitterblossom? Like, it's part of a package with the Armageddon, I guess. We can put in the Bitterblossom and the Armageddon. But so many decks are getting onto board underneath what we're doing that it's very difficult for us to try and leverage something like a Bitterblossom. And like we said, 1/1s are really bad in the meta right now. We're living in the world of Orcish Bowmasters and Tamiyo. Like, trying to attack with 1/1s is not really a thing we get to do these days. Like, we could board in the Jitte as well to help the Bitterblossom, maybe pump it up. We do need to connect at least once to keep the counters flowing. I just didn't really felt like this deck worked. So the next build I'm going to try is the one I've been building since last time, which is a lot more synergistic. So we're going to be a lot better off discarding stuff than we would normally be. And we're going to see how that works out. That's something to look forward to. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of Pox action with something a bit different. If I see a weird deck list, I'm going to put it on the channel. That's how I feel, especially when it's Pox, when that always gets good amount of views, and the Pox community is very lovely and welcoming. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and goodbye. If you'd like to support me in the channel, please check out my Patreon. It has a free guide to budget turbo depths as well as 3 tiers of support. A low cost one that enters you into my monthly raffle for a free donation deck on the channel, a mid-tier subscription that gives you access to my detailed turbo depths guide that is updated every month as well as regular articles, and lastly the higher tier gives you all of the above as well as a monthly donation deck for my channel. If you're interested in supporting the channel this way, please check out the link in the description.